all of you guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Catholic Brotherhood. So today we are back with another Miracle Monday. I know this video was supposed to be out last week, but we were out of town. We actually had to go to New Jersey, and we didn't have our technology to record a video for you all. But I'm glad you guys are back with us, and I hope you guys got a chance to actually take a look at the last video. I explained what this new videos were going to be about, and the reason why I'm calling Miracle Monday. So today actually we are going to talk about the miracle of the sun, go more into details about what this miracle was about. And so I mentioned, like I said, that 3 shepherds were involved in this miracle, and actually it was Saint Francisco, which actually him and his sisters, Saint Jacinta, were just canonized by our Pope Francis last year. Well, a few days ago. Well, it was 2017. It was sometime in March, I believe, that they were canonized by our Pope Francis and Pope Francis. And so yeah, so it was the 3 shepherds was one of them. It's Saint Francisco Marto. I hope I'm saying his last name right. And actually, who died 5 months after continuous suffering on April 4, 1919, and which was the first Friday of the month. And he is known to be the consoler of Jesus. He was very I would say, I don't know how to say this in words, like very caring. Particularly, he loved to go and see and spend time in the tabernacle. As we know, at the tabernacle, where Catholics, we hold the Eucharist, or the heart of our Lord Jesus Christ, as I explained to you guys on the Miracle of Lanciano in the last video. And he spent a lot of time actually there consoling our Jesus Lord for all the sins that are committed all around the world every single day and every single moment. So that's the reason why he's known as the consoler of Jesus. And then side note, he was actually 9 years of age when these apparitions took place. And then Saint Jacinta Marto, which I said that she is the sister of Francisco, and she was 7 years of age when the apparitions took place. She also died on February 1920th, and she received a special grace from heaven, where despite her age, like I said, she was 7 years old. Despite her age, she didn't act like a 9-year-old. Like a 7-year-old. She actually acted more mature and took the apparitions of heaven very serious. Actually, Lucia, which is the 3rd shepherd, and I'm going to talk more about her. Actually, she talks about her, how before the apparitions, she was very spoiled, and she wanted things to get done the way she wanted, and just, I guess, normal, I would say a normal character of a 7-year-old. But after the apparitions, her attitude changed, and she would be very particular when she was beside people. If she would see them talking bad or doing things that are offensive to our Lord Jesus Christ, she would actually go and tell them, what you're doing is wrong and you're not supposed to do this. So that's what called the attention of many people, that she was only 7 years old, but she acted more mature than what she was the year that I would say the maturity that you would expect from a 7-year-old. And then of course we have the 3rd shepherd, which is Sor Lucia dos Santos, and she was 10 years of age when the apparitions took place. So who died on February 13, 2005 at the age of 98 years. And then both Francisco and Jacinta died of pneumonia, and just as our Mother Mary had told them. And of course, Sor Lucia stayed a little longer on this earth, and like I said, she died when she was only 98 years old. You have to remember that this apparitions took place on 1917, so taking that into account, only 2 years after, about 2 years after Francisco died, and then 3 years after, Jacinta died. So I'm gonna go to the apparitions. Actually, the first apparition took place on May 13, 1917, and this first apparition only took place at the site of the three shepherds, and they actually believed that, it is said, they actually relate, because it wasn't something that people say. Actually, it's their own testimonies. So they say that they were actually playing. They were shepherds, so they would take care of sheep and their animals, and they were playing, and then all of a sudden they saw a lightning on the sky, and so they thought that it was going to rain. So then they started to gather around the sheep, and because they were going back home, and then so they started to walk, and then they said that as they were walking down the hills, they saw a second lightning, and so that confirmed what they were expecting, that they thought that rain was coming their way. And then actually, to their surprise, on the second lightning, they saw a beautiful lady on in front of them, on top of a little hill, and she actually told them not to fear her. She wasn't gonna do them any harm, and asked them. And on this first apparition, Our Lady, of course it was her mother Mary, she told them not to fear, and she asked them to come the following month, on the same date, at the same time, and on the same place, every 13 of the month. So they would be meeting her for the next 6 consecutive months, and so they did. Actually, Sor Lucia asked her name, and she said that she was going to reveal her name at the last apparition, and and so they obeyed, and they just continued to pray. And then on the second apparition, which was June 13, she asked them to keep praying the rosary every single day, and to wait for her at the following month. And actually, this is where Jacinta and Francisco were revealed that they were going to go to heaven very soon, and that Sor Lucia was going to stay in earth a little longer, because she wanted for her message to be spread by her to the world, to us. So that's the reason why we know all of this also, of course, because of the revelations that they had. And so this is where she told her that she was going to stay here longer. And then, of course, again, she told them to keep praying, and then to meet her again on the same place at the same time on the following month, on July the 13th. July the 13th. She asked them to keep praying the rosary at the time of the apparition, and then she told them that, actually, Sor Lucia asked her if she could perform a miracle, so that people could believe that they were seeing her, and that they were getting messages from Our Lady. And Our Lady told them that she was going to perform a miracle, but it was going to be until the last apparition. And so so then she also told them that the war was going to cease. We are in World War I right now. This is 1917, so World War I was taking place, and she actually also showed them hell. And of course, we're talking about this three shepherds, minor shepherds, being afraid of it in a way that convert their souls to to make sacrifices for the sinners and all of this. So then the fourth apparition took place on August 13. And actually, well, it didn't take place. Actually, on August 13, they were going to go out to meet her at that place. Of course, a lot of people already knew that these shepherds were having encounters with Our Mother Lady, and of course some of them were very skeptics, and others believed in it. But some people would actually go and gather with them at the appointed date and at the appointed time, and to pray with them. So on August the 13th, they were on their way to the apparition, but unfortunately they were oppressed by the law administration, and they tried to force them to tell them what the what Mother Mary was telling them, and they were actually trying to tell the world that they were lying, that none of these apparitions were taking place, because again, people were not able to see Mother Mary, only the three of them, and so they were threatening them, and actually they threatened them that if they would say that none of this was real, they were gonna have all this rewards, and if not, they actually threatened them to throw them on boiling oil, and the three of them stayed very very sure of what they were seeing, and they never denied what they were seeing. And actually, the little girl Jacinta said, "I would rather die before telling you what our Mother Mary has revealed to us." So on August 15, they were released 2 days later. It was a day of our, when we commemorate the Assumption of Our Lady. And later that day, they had the encounter with their Mother Mary, and she asked them to keep praying for the roads, for the conversion of sinners, because a lot of sinners are going to hell because no one is praying nor sacrificing for them. And so, again, she asked them, "I'm gonna see you guys the following month." And then the fifth apparition took place September 13, and she asked them to keep praying, and actually there was one personal request to them, because Jacinta and Francisco were unable to take communion in. And they wanted to help because they had seen, like I said, they had seen hell, and they were very moved by how souls suffer in hell, and they couldn't take communion and offer that for the conversion of sinners. So what they did is that every opportunity that they had, they would try to sacrifice everything they could so that souls can be converted. As the Catholic Church also teaches us, if you offer your sufferings for the conversion of souls, that helps, even though that's more spiritual, and you have to actually be more, I guess, connoisseur of this. So anyway, because like I said, they couldn't take First Communion or the Holy Eucharist, what they did is that they actually wrapped a rope around their hips, and of course this caused a lot of pain to them. And so our Mother Mary told them, in this apparition, she said, "Our Lord, our God is very pleased with your sacrifice, but he asked for you guys to only wear it during the day and to take it off during the night," because they were actually wearing this every single day and they wouldn't loosen it out or anything like that. So she asked them to do it, to loosen it out during the night. And then of course, again, she told them that to keep praying, they had to keep praying, and then that the following apparition, which was going to be the last one, that they were going to receive the miracle, so that people could believe that what they were seeing was real. So we're going to Saturday, October 13, 1917. The miracle of the sun took place, and actually this is where Mother Mary revealed her advocacy name, which was the Lady of the Rosary. And she also told them that she wanted a chapel to be built in her honor, which was built. And then the shepherds, after that, she started to elevate herself into heaven, and the shepherds told the people to look up the sun because something was going to happen, and it did. The sun started to revolve on the side of the viewers, and they were able to see it without impediment. Of course, right now, if you try to see the sun, you would go blind. First of all, you can't even look at the sun for 2 seconds, because you just can't. It's very hard for you guys to actually see the sun without anything to cover your eyes. And they were actually able to see it, witnesses of this event, because we have to remember also that a lot of people were there. It wasn't just like 2, 3 people or 5 people, 50 people. It was about, some actually witnesses says that there were about 70,000 people. There's says that 100,000 people. Of course, we're people, we I'd say we see or perceive numbers in a different way, but truth is that there was a lot of spectators that saw this miracle, the miracle of the sun, and it is actually recorded. A lot of journalists were there taking pictures, and that's the reason why we have a record of this, because it wasn't just this miracle didn't just take place to the side of just the three shepherds. It was it was for everyone to see it. So a lot of people saw this. Pictures were taken of this, and as you guys can see the pictures that are up on the screen. So before this, of course, Mother Mary told them that if people were to come back to God and believe in Him, World War I was going to end. But if not, then another war was going to await for them. And of course, on the following year, November 11 of 1918, World War I ended. But about 21 years later, another war came, because of course we are humans and we never listen to God. So World War II became, a war. And so so the bottom line of this is, this is the second miracle of our videos, but a lot of miracles have happened, and it's always the same message, to come back to God and to listen to Him and to do everything that we can to be with God, right? To do things right, to convert, to pray for those who don't know our Lord Jesus Christ. And so again, this is an invitation not just for those spectators who saw them, because a lot of people actually converted. Witnesses say that people were screaming out loud their sins when this was taking place. People thought that it was the end of the world and that they were gonna die. I mean, seeing the sun come into your face and then coming out of the earth, and like I said, witnesses gave their the way they perceived this miracle. And so they said that it seemed as it was going to end, and the sun coming in and out, it was afraid. They were afraid of it. So anyway, this is an invitation again to come back to our Lord. And I know there's a lot of skeptics still out there that say that this didn't take place. We as the Catholic Church, we walk by faith, and I hope if you guys want to actually find more about this miracle, you guys actually can follow the links that I will be providing, that my brother and I will be providing down here below. And then that's it for today. I hope you guys take a look. If you haven't seen the last video, please take a look at it. Give it a thumbs up. And we'll be seeing you guys. My brother will be releasing the Theology Thursday this week. This is actually his week. Like I said, I took over his week. It wasn't supposed to be my video coming out this week. It was supposed to be last week. But anyway, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. And thank you for watching this video. Bye bye.